Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Wake Up Bright, where I share all the things that help me live each day a little bit brighter. Today, me and the hubs are in Washington, D.C. And my husband and I walked the entire National Mall. We're going to talk about how many steps it took to do that. And it's also my weigh-in Wednesday, so I'll be sharing how much weight I gained immediately after Washington, D.C. and what my weight is now. So I'm trying to decide if I'm taking my camera with me. I'm thinking I'm not going to. I think I want to travel light. There are so many people everywhere. I should have known that that would be the case. But I also love to see so many people. So it's not quite summer yet at this point. So I felt like school, the people have work, and still so many people were at the Capitol just looking and enjoying the history and the monuments, and I think that's pretty special. It's pretty amazing. Just even when I flew in, so I flew in the day before, and I underestimated how beautiful Washington, D.C. would be. I pictured it differently in my mind. So it was such a blessing to be, this is my first time in Washington, D.C. And a tip that I have for you if you've never been, and for me to remember, is just go ahead and drive to Union Station. If you are planning on moving around and seeing a lot, go to Union Station and park there. From Union Station, we took a taxi and he dropped us off at the Washington Monument. So where are we?
We're walking along one of these pathways towards there.
And the White House is
closed.
Earlier, I was debating on if I was going to bring my bag or not. But then I had to go to the bathroom and we could not find parking anywhere. So I had to hop out of the car, run into Union Station to go to the bathroom, and now I've got my purse. So we're going to see how many steps we can walk and go to how many of the monuments we can see all today. It's one day and we're going to take you along with us. That's going to be our DC vlog. You ready for this, babe?
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen Washington Monument right there.
Right over there.
Those two earlier, and we saw the White House already, so we're starting.
We're about 7,000 steps in, and we're ready. Got the hair put up. The park ranger at the Key House was amazing. This one that's outside, he was such a wealth of knowledge. He's like, do you want the touristy version, like the story that all the tour guides are going to tell you, or do you want like the actual history? And then he knew so much, and it was so interesting, the things that he shared with us. And my husband and I, we loved it. This was a great way to really start our trip down the monuments, and he gave us a good path to follow to see the most, and we ate it up. We loved it, and he was great. Like, we only got to talk to him for like 10 minutes, but he was amazing. I really enjoyed the World War II Memorial. I love that it's right there in the middle of everything, and just the architecture and the symbolism and everything was definitely something to appreciate. I really loved being there and seeing it, and I feel like that about most everything that we saw in DC. It all has like a little bit of like this historical magic feeling, and I loved it. I also love learning from the guy at the Key House that most of the places that we were walking, when I think of like historically, like back when, you know, America was founded and stuff, most of this was underwater. So I thought that was really neat to learn too. One thing that I love about this trip is I have a new appreciation for how reverent he is towards these things, it makes my heart happy. He's so wonderful. And like I said, I love how reverently he approached the monuments and thoughtfully. It was pretty awesome. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial was interesting. There were people there who had friends and family on the wall. There were soldiers, veterans who had obviously served, and they were taking pictures with pictures of people, and it was an interesting thing to consider and a moment to share with strangers, or looker-bys, as my husband and I were. Also didn't know this, but it was a 21-year-old college student who did the design. Her design concept was to create a park within a park, a quiet, protected place unto itself, yet in harmony with the overall plan of the Constitution Gardens. And I love it. I think that it's so beautiful. Then we headed to the Lincoln Memorial, and it was very, very busy, but very beautiful and very special. Alrighty, I can add a Lincoln, Veterans Memorial, we've gone to a lot, and we were at about 12,000 steps. So, a lot more steps to go. It's a pretty amazing experience. I can't wait to talk to you more about it.
Looks like MLK is going to be across the street. World War I is going to be further down.
Okay.
So we can hit World War I, then come back through Korea, go to FDR.
Okay, can you see it? The couple inside this memorial were doing a dance, and some sort of performance-based dance, and it was really pretty. My favorite part of the Martin Luther King Memorial was the quotes and the reflective properties of I think it's granite, I'm not really sure, but as you're walking in and out, you can see the reflection of those people. It multiplies them almost like to infinity. we are at the Franklin Roosevelt Monument, and it was so nice. I really wanted to see the Theodore Roosevelt Monument, but we did not make it to the island. So the next time we go, we plan to go see that, which we actually may be going again in July. So I'm pretty excited. Getting sunburned, and I put sunscreen on. My chest is so sunburned. See my chest, babe? I think I know what dress I'm wearing. All the baby ducks make me so happy. I've seen so many baby ducks today. I did not expect that. So sunburned.
You're a big squirrel. Yes, you were so big.
So I had to run into the restroom, and I thought I would just take a seat on this here bench. Pretty nature. I don't know why, but in my mind I thought Washington DC would be dirty. It's not. It's very beautiful. It's been very beautiful being here. Now we are headed to the Jefferson Memorial, and I'd love for you, if you're listening, to comment down below and guess how many steps we walked today. I bet you won't guess. Well, we wanted to go somewhere really nice for lunch and for dinner. Looks like we're just gonna go somewhere really nice for dinner. Lunch, we went to a refreshment stand and got hot dogs and drinks. I got some pretzels, which I'm gonna probably not eat. They're in my bag, and then got some chips. And we're about to go. Where are we going to?
This was the Thomas Jefferson.
The Thomas Jefferson Memorial. So, I'm very excited about that. We're about 17,000 steps in, and we'll see. We'll see. It's probably like 4:30, 5 o'clock maybe. So, we got a later start, earlier. I don't think I ever said that. So, we drove around for like an hour trying to find somewhere that would let you park for more than 3 hours, because we don't care how late we're here. We want to see as much as we can. And so we ended up parking at Union Station, which was really cool. And now we're just making our way around. The Jefferson Memorial was both of our favorites. We spent quite a bit of time here and it was just so beautiful. This was the furthest point that we reached on our walk out, so they dropped us off. Our taxi driver dropped us off at the Washington Monument. We walked around to all of the memorials and monuments that we could. From there to the Jefferson Memorial, and then once here we started back and we wanted to see the Supreme Court of the United States. I wanted to see like the Library of Congress. We wanted to see Capitol Hill, the United States Capitol. We wanted to see those things as well, which were all the way on the other end. We also were hoping to get into a museum, but we did not reserve any spots, so that's for a future trip doing that. But it was so fun walking all the way back, and next time we are definitely just gonna park and walk out and walk back, and I'm excited for next time.
When you walked into the room, I couldn't keep my eyes off of you. Was it make-believe, or was it a dream? I've been waiting all my life. Feels like I've struck a gold mine. With your hand in mine, our love came alive. We've still got the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. Oh, the rest of our lives.
I'm back in North Carolina, obviously. Husband and I had so much fun, and we walked over 30,000 steps. 30,000 steps. I think that's the most amount of steps I've ever walked in a day. So let me pull that up. Over 31,000 steps. So I also did walk the dog. So not all of that, I guess, was at the mall, but most of those steps were at National Mall in Washington, D.C. And that was such an amazing day with my husband. Like, we had fun that Sunday doing the obstacle course. I had fun watching him do his race. And then we had this day, and this day was so sweet. I loved seeing all of the monuments and memorials. Easy to go to places like this and not take it serious, like as seriously, because it's a vacation, and I love and learned from my husband's reverence, and I thought that was just beautiful, and I'm just so grateful for my husband and our trip. Like, it was so fun. And then in my next video, you guys will see that we went to a ball. We went to a ball, and I also did another Spartan race. After that, we came home, and on Monday, the Monday after I came home, I weighed. Like, I did not want to. I usually weigh on Wednesday or on Friday. It just depends. So I weighed that Monday, and my weight was up so much. I was up to 268. But then I weighed again that Friday, and my weight was back down to 260.2. So I'm down a little less than a pound. And I'm grateful for that. Like, I knew I did not eat well in the Washington, D.C. portion, and I knew I wasn't. And that's why I made the meal prep meals, and I wanted to be really good early in the week, because I knew we were gonna go to the ball, and I had no say over what was gonna be on that menu. It was gonna be, everybody was gonna be served the same things. And while I didn't have to, I totally had like this piece of peanut butter chocolate cake. It was amazing, and I don't regret that choice. And it was such a fun night, and we ate like trash at the National Monument. There were all these food trucks, but my husband wanted so bad to go to a nice restaurant, and so our intent as we were walking back was to find a restaurant, and we just didn't see any restaurants. And when I started looking them up on the phone and stuff, like, they were farther away from where the monument was, and then we had like parking. It's like, are we gonna walk? Are we gonna? And so he was like, so I actually have an idea, and I don't think you're gonna like it. And I'm like, what's your idea? And he's like, I've always wanted to eat at this one place, like always. I've heard so many good things about it. And so, as you saw, we ate at Steak Shack, which he was so happy. He was so happy. And this trip in part was celebrating our anniversary. So he did have a competition, not just the race that he did while we were there, but he had an NCO of the quarter competition, which is for the military. So he was up there specifically for that. And then we just took advantage already being up there and did some vacation things and just enjoyed spending time together. That was such a good week. Then Sunday, we just ate like normal. Monday morning I weighed, I was up. And then I just got back on it. Like Monday, I just got back on my routine and eating like normal, and I'm down almost a pound. So that is good. And I hope that if you enjoyed this video, you'll subscribe. 30,000 steps. I'm so excited. That's so awesome. I didn't look to see how many steps I did that Saturday, but the Sunday before, when I did the Fayetteville sprint, and then I had walked around the course to like find my husband and stuff and take video of him as well, I only did 23,000 steps. So, and then I also walked my pups. So I always walk my pups, so that factors in. But I did 23,000 steps the day that I walked the course, and I was trying to get as many steps as possible. I was trying so hard to just keep moving, and I did a really good job of that. And then National Mall Day, over 31,000 steps. I'm very excited. The me I was when I started this journey would have struggled to get few thousand steps, let alone 31,000. So very proud of myself. I'm hoping for a better weigh-in next week, and it is what it is. I know that I am making good choices. I know when I make less than good choices. I am happy that while I had that rough spot when my husband was gone, and I was really, that cycle, like that DECA really did pull me out, and I haven't slid back into that mindset. Like I have had a good, productive mindset. I mean, I've had a lot of exciting things going on too. So I'm really excited again for this final May weigh-in to see where I end up. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.